Hi guys, welcome back to I'll Take a Minute, where today I wanted to talk about self-discovery. Where, wow, I really love and hate being in recovery and being in active addiction, period. That's a lonely, scary, tough place to be when you're in your active addiction. I notice now since I surrendered, like I really get it now, and I want to change because I know it has to be a better way to live. And I am actually learning that through the 12 steps. I did not know I didn't have to be miserable. Like my whole life, I thought I was happy. I thought I was joyful, where I was just existing and not even existing in my head because I was anesthetized when it came down to me because I hated me. Because it seemed like if I didn't have everything everybody else had, then I'm no good. Dealing with self-esteem and self-worth and self-care, and when you get into active addiction, it's a threefold disease: physically, spiritually, and emotionally and mentally. Everything gets affected. And the thing that made me use was because I couldn't deal with pain or neglect or abandonment, you know. Especially in my younger days, when you get in them days and you get your first loves and you think you're gonna die without them, and and then you discover you're not, and then you don't discover you. I'm 61, guys. I'm just getting to know me, and you know what? I am not so bad. Now that I want to stay here, because sometimes being up in here is a dangerous neighborhood, guys, because my disease can sit there and tell me all kinds of terrible things. And see, I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable in the pain and the misery. And, it's sad to be comfortable living and being uncomfortable. I didn't know I was uncomfortable and wasn't happy and wasn't living until now that I'm finding a new way to live. Starting screensaver. And now that I can do self talk, self self awareness, not to get my feelings hurt because now I know there's some things about me that I do not like. It's like, Lord, they character defects, and God, you the only one that can change them, because I can't change me. I tried to get sober by myself, and it took humility, and thank God for Zoom, like I said, for me to be able to be active in my recovery, because being active in my recovery helps me to be able to do better self-care, better self-awareness. And if I can get to the place where I'm okay, with discovering myself, and not being broken and not needing validation, the freedom, OMG, the freedom that I have, that I don't need, that I need someone to agree with me in order for me to be okay, or I'm uncomfortable because I think I know what you're thinking about me and you ain't even thinking about me. Like that's how sick my mind was, and sometimes can still be, especially in today's world. We all searching for something, and I know I'm searching. I'm searching for myself. I'm searching for God. I'm searching for Mother Nature, everything that's beautiful, you know, because I want to be happy. Whatever days I have left, guys, as long as I don't use, as long as I don't pick up another drink or drug, and I be open and honest and willing, the willingness of being vulnerable, letting someone know I'm not okay, you know, or I'm having a bad day because right now I'm kind of hating me, you know, like to grow up with no parents, you know, that does something to you, you know, to not have that connection. You know, that's why I thank God for therapy, because therapy, 38 years, 40 years of therapy helped me to also be able to break 4 generations of dysfunction in my family. You know, we all got our things in our families, you know, where thank God that I was taught some tools going to a therapist and going there for help, to want to change, to want to be happy, you know. And I used to be so unhappy because I thought I needed a husband or a boyfriend to complete me because I was always the single one, you know. And I also stayed single for my daughter because I was not going to have a whole bunch of baby daddies coming up in my house and displaying that kind of behavior to my daughter, because that's not right. You know, when I was out there hustling, nothing wasn't free. You know, I'm gonna be real. When you getting your hustle on, you getting paid. One thing about me, I was never promiscuous at all. You know, I may have hustled and got mine, but other than that, as far as displaying behavior to my daughter, that it's okay to break up with one guy and then get with another one, and that you need a man to make you feel worthy. No, you don't. And I'm so happy that I taught her that. And you know what, guys? I am still single. I cannot believe it. Like, I thought I at least have to have me like a little boy toy, because I'm a cougar. I like them young. But it's been a minute, and you know what? I am actually happy and I feel complete, you know, because of the self love, the self discovery, the self worth, you know, the awareness of things inside of me that I don't like and that can be changed to help me to be a better person in this world and to live a good life. Guys, I ain't get sober to be miserable, and I definitely didn't get sober and surrender to live an average life. No. You know, guys, I got some big dreams, and I'm hoping that, well, with the help of God Almighty, that if I share my story with you guys, people especially that are, you know, still an active addiction is hard to break, guys. It is very hard because feeling your emotions, especially rejection and pain, you know, and never feeling good enough, you know, that does something to you, you know. And all these years I was able to just numb it. And now at 61, I can't numb. I gotta feel everything. It's like Joe and Charlie says, I feel everything today, guys. I feel pain better. I feel my character defects better. You know, I feel when I'm acting out better, you know, and I can't run and hide and say that I don't know better, because see, now I know. That's like Maya Angelou says, once you know, you can't say you don't know. So now that I know, and now that I am willing to grow up and put on my big girl panties and share that being in recovery is not easy. It's just like being up here on YouTube. It's easy, but it's hard. You know, it's hard for me if I don't give my life every day over to God, because I can't change me. Because if I could, I'd probably be somewhere, I don't know, maybe in another island or somewhere. If I could actually fix me, because I think that if I ever got to that place where I think would make me perfect, but thank God I don't think about perfection anymore. I just think about progress, you know. And progress is okay today, because it helps me to be able to stay present in the moment. And in the moment, making sure that I'm not causing anybody any harm mentally, emotionally, that I'm not being mean to anyone, that I am actually trying to spread joy, like a smile. And you look so pretty today. Like those are things, especially women, that makes us feel good, when we notice that someone noticed, because I don't need you to have to tell me that, because I am in a different place today, but I did used to need to be told that. And now, thank God that I don't. And hopefully, with my vulnerability, being open about addiction, where this is embarrassing, guys. I feel shame and guilt and embarrassment, especially the people I grew up with and went to school with. Everybody has their lives and vacations, and they're married, and it's like, wow, I feel like I'm getting started late in life. But I can't sit there and wallow in that, because then I won't be happy. And I know what that feels like. I'm scared. I'm walking in fear every day, because this is different for me to want to stay in my head, to want to say nice things to me, to want to do positive affirmations, and maybe try some yoga or some senior citizen thing, because I can't believe I am a senior now, guys. And thank God I'm a senior in recovery. That's the joy of it, being a senior citizen and being in recovery. And that's a beautiful thing. I do it every day afraid. That's one thing. I feel fear every day. I'm afraid right now, being up here talking like, oh my God, no one's gonna like it. Who they gonna be like, who does she think she is? And cause see, that's what goes on up here in my head. But that's the joy about self-discovery. So now that I shared a little bit with you about where I'm at with self-discovery, walking through the shame, walking through the guilt, walking to the growth, because I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my recovery. I'm responsible now for my happiness, not my past. Not because I grew up in a household without parents. No, it's where I'm at today, and I have to be responsible for me and that little inner child, because I got an 8-year-old in me. I got a 16-year-old in me that got attitude, and then we got the 61-year-old me that is co-parenting my inner child, because it does need some healing, and thank God for healing, and thank God I can't do it alone. Just like with now my walk with God, I realized I can't do this alone, guys. I went to church today, and it was so fearful, because I hadn't been to that church since I was an active alcoholic. And I couldn't appreciate it. I couldn't fit in. I always knew that I'm not here for real. I'm not serious right now. I'm going to leave here and go drink. But what joy today when I walked in the door of Emmanuel. I felt so good to be free, that I am free from that woman I was when I was up in here, when I first started coming here. Well, wow, what a joy now that I can appreciate the word and the people and the help and the kindness, because I do want to be kind to me and others. you know, and God loves me. You know, now I'm trying to catch up with him loving me, you know, where love, you know, you think is easy, but self-love for me is hard. I practice it every day now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give myself a hug. That was a nice hug. Maybe everybody should give themselves a hug. And thank you guys so much. Evidently, the medication must be working. Hey. Oh, well, hopefully I could keep up on this streak that I hope I have going. And I'm not going to always look like this either. You know, I'm going to have on my hair bonnet and probably some clothes that got tie-dye t-shirts in that I wear around the house and be comfortable in. But I hope that this does help somebody. If it's just one person, self-love, it is hard. It is hard. Don't think that it's just you, you know. And if you think that, you know, you have too many thoughts going on at one time, you know, it's a lot of help out there. Do not be ashamed to ask for help. We all need help. And it's okay today. Because when you ask for help, then things in your life start to change. Where thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you and thank you for taking a minute to come and take a minute with me. Well, everyone have a blessed evening. Toodles. Bye. Mwah.